I got no money, no nothing. Just, I'm
Hold up. Neo just broke the internet with some jaw-dropping relationship tea. Y'all are not ready for this one? The R&B superstar recently made headlines, but not for a new album or hit single. Oh no, this time it's all about his unconventional views on love, loyalty, and commitment. And the internet is buzzing. Neo, the same man who serenaded us with So Sick and Miss Independent, has come out and said he doesn't believe in monogamy. Yep, you heard that right. Instead of locking down one partner for life, Neo admits he prefers polyamory, a lifestyle where multiple relationships are not just accepted, but celebrated. Cue dramatic pause and collective gasp. Now, before y'all start clutching your pearls, let's unpack this. Neo didn't just toss out this little nugget during an offhand interview. He was dead serious. He says that monogamy, as it's traditionally understood, doesn't work for him. This man is out here openly saying that he'd rather have multiple romantic partners with open communication and consent than be stuck in a traditional one-on-one commitment. But here's the kicker. Neo's not the first person to publicly reject monogamy, but he's stirring the pot by being so open about it. So, why does Neo feel this way? Is he just trying to be controversial for the clicks, or does he have a deeper reason for opting out of traditional relationship norms? Well, let's take a look at the man behind the statement. We all know Neo as the smooth-talking, chart-topping artist who's made us swoon with his voice and vibe. But now, he's in a whole different conversation, one that's pushing boundaries and making people question the rules of love.
Just realizing that right this second.
This new revelation has set the internet on fire, sparking debates everywhere from social media to relationship blogs. Some fans are praising him for being honest and living his truth, while others are, let's just say, less than thrilled with his stance. And we haven't even scratched the surface of how his views challenge traditional ideas about loyalty, commitment, and what it means to be in a relationship. But before we go there, let's take a closer look at Neo's perspective. What led him to this bold stance? And how does he justify rejecting a concept as old as love itself? Hold tight, because this tea is only getting hotter. Alright, let's go deeper, because this is where things get real. Neo's comments about polyamory aren't just shocking. They're part of a bigger picture about how he views love, relationships, and what it means to be free in a world that often wants to box you in. So, what exactly did Neo have to say about his choice to prefer polyamory over monogamy? And more importantly,
managers went away, production company went away,
why does he believe that this lifestyle is a better fit for him? Let's rewind a bit. In a recent interview, Neo opened up and explained that monogamy just doesn't work for him. And honestly, he doesn't believe it works for everyone. But before you go writing him off as some kind of love rebel or player, let's take a deeper look at what he actually means. According to Neo, polyamory isn't about disrespecting anyone or being dishonest. Far from it. It's about creating a relationship dynamic where multiple people can be involved, but with full consent and transparency. No sneaky behavior, no lies, just openness and mutual respect. Now, Neo isn't the first person to reject traditional monogamy. We've seen other celebrities talk openly about their non-monogamous relationships. And while some people support it, others aren't so sure. But Neo's perspective is different because of how he frames it. He doesn't just throw out the idea of monogamy as if it's some outdated concept. He really gives us insight into why it doesn't work for him personally. For one, Neo pointed out that society places an immense amount of pressure on monogamy. We're conditioned to believe that true love can only exist in a monogamous relationship, one person forever. But Neo's saying, why put that pressure on yourself? He argues that the expectation of forever isn't realistic for everyone and can lead to toxic dynamics, especially when people feel trapped in relationships that no longer serve them. His own experiences seem to have shaped this perspective. Neo's past relationships, including his high-profile marriage to Crystal Renee, played a role in shaping how he views relationships. He's been through the highs and lows of monogamy, including a divorce, and has learned the hard way that sometimes what's expected of us doesn't match what we truly need. And that's where polyamory comes into play for Neo. It's not just a do what you want kind of mentality, but rather a more honest and flexible approach to love. When Neo talks about polyamory, he emphasizes that it's about freedom. He believes that in a polyamorous relationship, people are free to express themselves without the rigid constraints of traditional expectations. There's a focus on individual autonomy, where partners are allowed to explore other connections, as long as everyone involved is on the same page. But let's be real. Neo knows that his perspective is controversial. He's fully aware that polyamory isn't for everyone. In fact, he's made it clear that he's not advocating for it as some universal truth, just that it works for him. And that's a key part of his philosophy, finding what feels right for you. In a world where traditional relationship structures are often pushed as the only option,
Personally want to see get that look?
Yeah.
Is Chris. I want to see Chris get that look.
Neo is challenging us to think outside the box. So, is Neo just out here living his best life, or does he have a point? Is polyamory the future of love, or is it just a trend? Trust, we're about to unpack the public's reaction next, because things are about to get even more heated. Woo, folks. When Neo dropped his polyamory bombshell, the internet lost its mind. I'm talking full-on debates, meme wars, and hot takes left and right. Social media exploded in real time as fans, fellow celebs, and relationship experts took to Twitter, Instagram, and every platform in between to either defend or drag Neo for his comments. And let me tell you, the reactions have been nothing short of entertaining. Let's start with the fans. You know how it goes. Some people are here for the drama. Others are clutching their pearls. On one hand, there's a whole group of people who totally agree with Neo. They're like, finally, someone is being honest about how relationships can be fluid. These folks are praising him for stepping outside the box and challenging old school notions of love. They argue that polyamory is just another way to approach love, and that as long as everyone involved is consenting, who are we to judge? To them, Neo's boldness is an example of living authentically and unapologetically. But let's not get it twisted. There's another side to this, and baby, it's fiery. You've got the folks who are not having it. Some are calling him selfish. Others are accusing him of promoting an excuse to cheat. The backlash has been intense, with people questioning his commitment to traditional family values. If you can't be faithful to one person, then why even bother? They're asking. Some have even gone as far as to suggest that Neo's comments might be a reflection of his own unresolved relationship issues, especially after his messy split with Crystal Renee. One Twitter user even wrote, "If Neo can't make monogamy work, what chance do the rest of us have?" Now, that tweet got some traction, and you can see why people would feel that way. After all, Neo has been through a very public divorce and a highly scrutinized relationship history. So, there's a segment of the public who feels like his personal life is a little too messy to be offering relationship advice to the masses. And don't even get me started on the reaction from other celebrities. Some of them are side-eyeing Neo hard. We've seen celebs like Wendy Williams who are quick to throw their opinions out there, calling out Neo for messing with the sacred institution of marriage. Others, though, are more neutral, saying, to each their own, but not exactly rushing to give a high five for the polyamory lifestyle. It's clear that while some are trying to understand Neo's perspective, the overwhelming response is a mix of skepticism and concern. But the real drama is unfolding in the comment sections of relationship experts and therapists. Some say Neo's choice is a sign of the times, a natural evolution in how relationships are evolving in the modern age. Others, however, argue that polyamory isn't as easy as it sounds. They warn about the emotional toll it can take on those involved, especially when jealousy, insecurity, or feelings of inadequacy start to creep in. Relationships are complicated enough without adding more people to the mix, one relationship therapist tweeted. Polyamory sounds like a lot of work and heartache for everyone involved. And honestly, there's truth to that. We've seen how complex non-monogamous relationships can get. And not every person is emotionally equipped to handle the kind of freedom polyamory requires. So, Is Neo just being real about how relationships should look in 2024? Or is this a case of trying to make something that's not for everyone seem like the new normal? Regardless of where you stand, one thing's for sure. Neo's comments have forced a conversation that's long overdue. He's pushed the boundaries of what we accept in mainstream culture when it comes to relationships. But with all this public outcry and support, we've got to ask, what does all of this mean for love in 2024? Neo's bold comments about monogamy and polyamory aren't just a celebrity gossip headline. They're part of a much bigger conversation that's unfolding in real time. The way we think about love, commitment, and loyalty is being challenged, and Neo's words are forcing us to take a long, hard look at the future of relationships. In a world where marriage and monogamy have been the gold standard for centuries, is polyamory the future? Or is Neo just out here with a controversial opinion that'll fade out like a one-hit wonder? Well, judging by the reaction, he's definitely struck a nerve. And the debate is far from over. This could be a turning point in how we define real love in the modern age. More and more people are openly questioning the traditional idea that one person can fulfill all of your emotional, physical, and social needs. Is it even possible? As we look at younger generation, many of them are already rethinking traditional relationship structures. With hookup culture, open relationships, and polyamory becoming more common, we have to ask, are we witnessing a cultural shift that could redefine love as we know it? It's clear that a growing number of people are looking for alternatives to monogamy, and they're not afraid to say it out loud. But here's where it gets interesting. Neo, for all his honesty, isn't exactly the poster child for polyamory. He's a man with a complex relationship history, from his public divorce to his past romantic entanglements. So, is he just another celebrity trying to justify his own past mistakes? Or is he genuinely trying to shift the narrative on what healthy relationships can look like in 2024? It's no secret that traditional monogamy has come under fire for being unrealistic for some people. For some, it feels like a setup for disappointment, especially when both parties are expected to meet all the emotional needs of the other. That's a lot of pressure. But polyamory, with all its potential freedom, also comes with its own set of complications. Managing jealousy, time management, and finding partners who are on the same page. The stakes are high and the waters are murky. But here's the million-dollar question. Is the world ready for this new era of love? Can we let go of the age-old idea that one person can be the one? Or are we too tied to traditional norms to make this shift? Neo is telling us that love doesn't seem to be one size fits all. But can we handle the freedom and the messiness that comes with it? As we wrap up, one thing is clear. Neo has sparked a conversation that's only going to get louder. Whether you're on board or not, the debate around polyamory is here to stay. The question is, will it be the future of love or just a passing trend? Only time will tell. And that's the tea, folks. What do you think about Neo's views on polyamory and monogamy? Is polyamory the future of relationships? Or should we stick to the old school ways of love and loyalty? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's get this conversation started.